This incident happened on February 18th, 2022 in Shawano, Wisconsin. The video comes from the dash cam inside Officer Jeff Buettner's patrol vehicle. Jeff was making a routine drive along the highway when the situation changed in seconds. As he moved down the road, a massive chain reaction crash suddenly appeared ahead of him. Due to the icy road surface, Jeff had almost no traction and barely any time to react. His cruiser slid straight into the pileup.
Hey, officer, are you okay? Little sore, but... You okay? I'm a little sore, but I gotta try and get a hold of my supervisor at least. Kind of trapped right now. How's your legs and everything? They're alright. I'm kind of trapped right here. Okay, yeah. I don't... Okay. I'm with Donald PD. I gotta I'll try and get out of here and do what I can to help you guys. I'm sorry, man. I'm trapped right now. That's okay. That's okay. Hold on. Let me try and get out of my driver's door first. Can you? Can you? Nope. We got it open. You got it open?
Leaving him with no way to avoid the impact. Before he could even get out of his vehicle, more cars behind him lost control on the ice and crashed into the back of his cruiser, trapping him inside. Even though he was stuck, Jeff was surprisingly still in good condition. A few people who were also caught in the crash made their way to his vehicle to check on him. It took nearly 6 minutes before Jeff was finally able to push his way out of the damaged cruiser. Once he managed to escape, he immediately turned his attention to helping other drivers who were stranded and injured. This next clip comes from a dash cam belonging to Melissa, a 22-year-old who later shared the footage on TikTok. For her, it was supposed to be nothing more than a simple drive to a friend's house. The weather was fine, traffic was light, and she was just cruising along the highway without a single worry on her mind. But then, without any warning, things changed in the blink of an eye. Right in front of her, a dangerous situation unfolded, fast enough to shock anyone. But slow enough for a camera to capture every second. It's the kind of moment where your first instinct is to freeze, trying to make sense of what you're seeing. Now, who was actually at fault here? That's the big question. Moments like this happen far more often than people realize, usually because someone on the road makes a reckless choice without thinking about the consequences. And what's really unsettling is that their mistake doesn't just put them at risk, it puts every innocent driver around them in danger too. People like Melissa, who was simply on her way to hang out with a friend, ended up witnessing something she never expected. As for the driver of the blue truck, the aftermath isn't fully known. But based on how the situation played out, it's safe to assume they walked away with a hard-earned lesson. When you're out on the road, one thing matters more than anything. Keep your cool, because losing control for even a second can change everything. The next clip comes from an Uber ride that started out like any ordinary pickup. The video was originally shared by a Reddit user named Noah9948, and at first, everything inside the car looked perfectly normal. The driver was calm, the family in the back seemed relaxed, and nothing suggested danger. But out of nowhere, the atmosphere changed.
fuck you did? What the 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 fuck you did, man? What the fuck you did?
The man sitting in the front passenger seat suddenly lunged forward and grabbed the steering wheel. He yanked it hard, trying to pull the moving car directly into a nearby truck. The move was so sudden and aggressive that it could have ended in a deadly crash within seconds. Thankfully, the Uber driver reacted with incredible speed. He fought to regain control, slowed the car down, and managed to bring it to a complete stop before the vehicle collided with anything. As soon as the car stopped, the passenger responsible for the attack jumped out and ran. The driver, clearly in shock, got out and chased after him, not fully understanding why someone would try something so reckless. Many people believe this might have been an attempted insurance scam, a disturbing tactic that has happened more often than most riders realize. Fortunately, this Uber had cameras recording both inside the cabin and outside the vehicle. That footage later played a crucial role in proving the driver wasn't at fault. This wasn't just a random act of aggression. It was a moment that put an entire family at risk, all for what seems to be a staged crash attempt. What happened to the suspect afterward is still unknown, but one thing is certain. The driver's quick reflexes likely prevented a horrible tragedy. Now, let's move on to another unbelievable video. In January 2016, officers in Lincoln County released a dashcam recording from one of their patrol vehicles. Behind the wheel that day was Deputy Jeremy Gatney, who was simply carrying out a normal patrol shift. While approaching a local intersection, something unusual caught his attention in the roadway ahead. At first, it looked like some kind of small obstruction, but as he got closer, he realized the object wasn't just sitting there. It was moving toward his vehicle. Jeremy immediately slowed the cruiser and switched on his emergency lights. And then, in the glow of the headlights, he finally understood what he was seeing. A toddler, barefoot and alone, was wandering right into the path of his vehicle. The child walked straight up to the front bumper before Jeremy jumped out and lifted him into his arms. Shocked, he gently asked the child where his parents were, but the toddler was too young to respond clearly. Within moments, officers located the child's parents nearby. They were desperately searching the neighborhood, terrified after realizing their child was missing. According to the investigation, the toddler had slipped out through a door that had accidentally been left open. The parents didn't notice until several minutes later, setting off their frantic search. Authorities did conduct a full review for potential neglect, but after examining the circumstances, they determined it was an accident and not an intentional act of carelessness. Thanks to Jeremy's alertness and slow reaction at the intersection, this situation ended safely, something that could have gone very differently. This next incident is something no driver ever expects to face. It took place on March 26, 2025, when a man was heading home after work. The drive started off just like any other day, calm, quiet, nothing out of the ordinary. And then, within seconds, everything turned into chaos. In the captured footage, the road ahead suddenly collapses. The ground just drops open, creating a huge sinkhole right in the center of the street. The pavement breaks apart like cardboard, slipping downward as if the earth underneath simply disappeared. One driver, who had his entire family in the car, managed to swing his vehicle out of the danger zone with only a moment to spare. The person filming also pulled to the side quickly, but a motorcyclist up ahead didn't get that chance. He went straight into the hole and was tragically found dead the next day. Now here's the part that shocks most people. Sinkholes seem rare, but they're actually more common than we realize. Sinkholes usually start deep underground quietly. Water slowly washes away the earth beneath the surface, creating a hidden hollow space. The scary thing is that the top layer of ground can look perfectly fine the whole time. You could drive over it every day without noticing anything wrong. Then, one day the weight becomes too much and the ground just gives up, collapsing all at once. People often think sinkholes only happen in movies or extreme weather zones, but the truth is they can appear in places that look completely stable. It's one of those natural events that feels unreal until it actually happens right in front of you. In this case, the collapse happened so fast that only the quickest reaction saved lives.